Hey guys, today we're going to talk about self-studying for AP tests. Whether you're going to be doing that this year or you're thinking about doing it in the future, this video is for you. Also, a lot of the stuff I'm going to cover in this video is relevant to you even if you're still taking the class for the AP test, so either way, stick with me. In high school, in addition to taking 5 AP classes, I self-studied for 3 AP tests, so I prepared for those tests mostly on my own and completely outside of class time, and I received a 5 on all 3 of the tests that I took. Those were AP Psychology, AP Spanish Language and Culture, and AP United States History. There are a couple of really good reasons to self-study for AP tests. The first one is to earn college credit. If you attend a state school, at least a 3 on an AP test, and in most private universities, a 4 or a 5, will be able to qualify you for some college credit, usually by testing you out of a prerequisite course or an intro-level course of some kind, and hopefully giving you the credit for that. Coming into Washington University here, they gave me 12 AP credits, which is the equivalent of a light semester of coursework, which is pretty nice. Another reason to self-study for AP tests is to show initiative. So a lot of the kids who are going to be taking AP tests are also applying for admission to competitive universities. And now if this is not something that you're interested in, that's totally fine. But for those of you who are, this is a good way to set yourself apart. Self-studying for AP tests demonstrates that you have a real commitment to your education and you're interested in challenging yourself outside of the classroom as well as in the classroom. So anyway you go, self-studying for APs is just a great thing to do. Generally, it's best to self-study for AP tests that your school does not offer. In most cases, it's probably not worth self-studying for a test if your high school offers a class that prepares you for that test. But depending on various circumstances, it might be worth it. Let's get right into it. The first thing to do is to familiarize yourself with the format of the AP test. Over the past several years, the AP program has been revamping a lot of their tests, and this has resulted in significant format changes for a lot of tests. I know, for example, just a couple of years ago, AP European History was totally revamped, and the old format did not really look much like the new format. So if you use outdated studying materials, you're going to be studying for the wrong test entirely. The important thing to do is to make sure that you know which version of the test you will be taking so that you can use study materials that are relevant to that test. Because with outdated study materials, the content might be relevant, but the format will not. The thing that helped me the most when I was self-studying for AP tests were prep books. You can buy prep books online or from local bookstores. Most of them are going to be pretty inexpensive. The big names are things like Barron's and Princeton Review, although there are a ton of others. I'm going to post some links to prep books down in the description below, so you can buy them through Amazon for pretty cheap. You shouldn't really be paying any more than $15 to $20 a book for these prep books. They're super convenient. They're going to give you a pretty abridged version of what you need to know for the test in most cases, and they'll also provide a couple of practice tests in the back with rubrics, and if they're good, explanations of why each answer is right or wrong. Even if you are taking an AP class in something, it's totally worth buying the prep book as well. That prep book is just going to supplement what you're learning in class, and it's going to all around make you more prepared for the test. So it's totally worth it to invest in prep books. Alternatively, or in addition to prep books, you can get a textbook. In some cases, you'll be able to find these on eBay or Amazon, or the better option is to borrow them from a library or from someone at your school if you're able to do so. Textbooks are generally a lot more expensive than prep books, but they're also much more thorough. So if you have a lot of time to prepare for this test, for example, if you're starting your preparation in September or October, it's probably worth it to invest in a textbook. If you're watching this video right now midway through the year or later, prep books are probably going to be your best bet. They're going to take a lot less time to get through, and they're going to provide you only with the more basic information that you need for most classes. The next helpful resource are actually YouTube videos or other videos online. There are a ton of free online resources to help you prepare for every AP test that exists. In a lot of cases, there are great YouTube channels that walk you through some of the basics for each test. Things like Crash Course and other series like that are super helpful. In addition to YouTube videos, there are tons of free websites that you can use both to read up on content and take practice tests. Highly recommend checking some of those out. The best thing that you can find are AP specific videos or websites or things like that. Any AP specific studying material is going to be the most helpful for you. Next thing are practice tests. This goes back to what I said about being familiar with the format of the test, and also why it's important to buy an up-to-date prep book, is that since tests do change, you need to know exactly what you're going to be taking, and practice tests are the best way to give you a good understanding of what the test is going to look like prior to the test. I would recommend taking multiple practice tests. Do all of the ones that are available in the prep book if you choose to take that route, and additionally, find some online. Those are generally less reliable with answer keys and things like that, but you should be able to get a good idea of the format and familiarize yourself with that before the test. Another really good thing to do is after you've taken a practice test, go through each answer that you got wrong and figure out A, why you got it wrong, and B, what the correct answer is. Chances are if you make a mistake once, you're gonna make it again if you don't educate yourself as to what the right answer is. And a lot of the questions you're gonna see on practice tests, some version of that is probably going to appear on the actual AP test. So definitely make sure you're checking your work when you go through those practice tests. Something that I cannot stress enough is that you manage your time well when you're preparing for these tests. Personally, I know for studying for AP Psychology and AP US History, I put things off for way too long. I didn't even buy prep books until February or March, and it's amazing that I was able to pull off 5s on both of these tests. In all fairness, I did have some background knowledge on both of these subjects, which helped me to do that. But the point is that I did not manage my time well at all, and if you do manage your time well, you're going to have a much better chance of getting the score on the test that you want to receive. Important things to figure out well in advance of the AP tests are A, which tests you're going to be taking, B, how you're going to study, and C, when you're going to study it. It's a really good idea to make a pretty general schedule, probably week by week, of what you need to be doing and when. For example, you should start your practice tests probably at least a month in advance of the AP test. Do not wait until the week before to start familiarizing yourself with the format of the test. It's not going to go well for you if you do that. You're probably also not going to be able to cram a ton of information, like a year's worth of information, into a week or two of studying before the test. It's just not going to happen. So it's really important that you space that out. You review what you've already learned regularly, you take practice tests, and you keep on top of things. Do not let yourself procrastinate. I would recommend self-studying for tests in which you have some basic background knowledge. So for me, I had already taken a US history course, albeit not an AP one, a couple of years prior. And when I did take AP Spanish, I'd been in a Spanish class for 4 years. I was just taking that AP exam 1 year early with regards to my school's curriculum. Before I end this video, I actually have some really exciting news. We've been sponsored by a company called College Outfitters. That's collegeoutfitters.ca, link in the description below. They sell all kinds of awesome stuff that's great for decorating rooms, whether you're a college student like me, you're still in high school, or you already have your own place. Their products are really affordable. You get free shipping on orders over $15, and if you use the promo code Nathan at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order every time. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any comments, you can go ahead and leave those down below. Feel free to ask any questions about AP stuff or anything else, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks for watching again, and good luck with your tests.